Hi, you are watching lesson title Finding Specific Data Using Criteria Operators in Wildcards. In this lesson, we are going to begin with the brief introduction to criteria, what it is, how to use it, followed by an introduction to a variety of operators. And with that, we'll cover mathematical operators, comparison operators, logical operators, and a few specialized operators, others operators. Then after that, we are going to dive into some Acces queries and add a whole bunch of criteria to look for specific data within our database. Then we'll show you how to combine criteria, how to add alternate criteria, as well as how to look at blank values, and we'll find an introduction to wildcards. Introduction to criteria. Criteria is what we call an expression that Acces compared to query fields value to determine whether to include the value, and an expression can be a combination of the values. You can use the operators, the plus, minus, and the equal. And combination we can use it with the database constant, for example a zip code or special ordered. You can even use some complicated functions to use specific variable data, for example a current date, or using a special database field within a control. In other words, criteria can be simple criteria, it can be constant, and within this example operator is constant, and if you like you can make a bit be simple criteria, it can be constant, and within this example operator is constant, and if you like you can make a bit more complicated criteria. And this example we have our exception begin with a function, and in this case the year function, which is looking after the release date constant, which is example the constant. Then we have the operators followed by another year function, but inside the year function we have another date function, which is by the way referred to the nested function. So when we place this criteria underneath the release date, so let's get the year, the release date, to refer the year date, which is the field. Or we can simplify the criteria. Both of these examples can do the same exact result. So there are many ways to write criteria, but before we show you a few of these, I'd like to spend some more time to tell you about the variety of criteria to choose from. Introduction to operators. An operator refers to a sign or symbol that specify the type of calculation to perform with an expression, and there are several kinds of or categories of an operator to choose from when writing query criteria. There are mathematical operators, comparison operators, logical operators, and few other operators. Just simply an operator to choose from when writing query criteria. There are mathematical operators, comparison operators, logical operators, and few other operators. Just simply the 5 categorization. Mathematical operator will usually be used for performing some kind of mathematical operation such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, and these are some of the example you can use in your expression. But is a symbol. Comparison operator on the other hand, this is the less than symbol, the greater than symbol, the equal symbol, the greater than symbol. Logical operator, you can also use the common logical operator, and or EQV operator, or not operator, or X or R operator. And finally you have a few specialized operators. You get the ampersand, the plus sign to combine string together, the is null or is not null operator to locate or exclude null values, the like operator, and this we use to accept wildcard characters. The between operator is searching between the range of data, and the in operator can be used for a specific set of value. A searching between the range of data and the in operator can be used for a specific set of value. Now look at this query. How is this query created? We'll discuss it later. Here is the first name, last name, and look at this. These are the table from which the data is selected. As I mentioned in my previous video, how to create simple queries in Microsoft Access 2013. So you can see here that we have made a query, and now we are going to get a little bit advanced to write a criteria. In order to add a criteria to the query, let us practice. I'm going to open the exercise file. These are my exercise files, and I'm going to open the finding specific data using criteria operators in wildcards. Double click, and I'm going to open the column orders. Here we have different tables which are existing in this database, and here is the query. So the query is already made. When we run the query, we see this data in the datasheet view because the query is already running. And if I take the query to the design view like this, you can say that here is a TBL codes, TBL order details, TBL orders, TBL customers. So in order to insert criteria to any of the fields which are selected, for example, I'm going to filter the last name for the name Smith. I will write Smith. Look, when I press enter, how Acces is going to put a quotation around the text. Look at this. When I press enter, how Acces is going to put a quotation around the text. Look at this. The quotation is automatically inserted by Microsoft Access because Microsoft Access know that this criteria is a character criteria. Now when I'm going to run the query, look at this. The data is, only that data is picked and presented to us which is given in criteria. The Smith name is given in the text. This is how we put criteria, character criteria, and I'm going to take it to the design view. I'm going to delete this criteria, and this time we are going to try the quantity field. In the quantity field, I'm going to write a criteria, for example, greater than 1. We would like to see all such orders and all those customers who have ordered more than one box at a time. So run the query, and here we are. Look at this. These are the people who have ordered more than one box at a time. So this is how we insert a numeric criteria, digital criteria. This is a numeric field, and this is a numeric criteria. This last name was a criteria, digital criteria. This is a numeric field, and this is a numeric criteria. This last name was a alphabet field, and we have inserted criteria in alphabet. When a criteria is in alphabet, Microsoft Access automatically insert quotation mark around the text. So far as concerned the numerical criteria, there isn't required any quotation mark. So that's how a number criteria is inserted. Let's get a little bit complicated, and we want to see the data between the first quarter of 2009. So for this we'll be using the between function and the and function. So I'm going to write the between 1/1/2009 and 3/1/1/2009. Look, when I click outside of this criteria, you can see this pound sign inserted by the Microsoft Access, which is a good sign. It means that Microsoft Access has understand the criteria. Now when we run our query, let's see what did the criteria represent us. Understand the criteria. Now when we run our query, let's see what did the criteria represent us. Run query. This is the data of the first quarter beginning from January 2019 to the last day of March 2009. From the first day of 2009 to the last day of March 2009. So this is how we insert the date criteria whenever the date field is available. So you will see that look at this criteria, the between function, and that this phone sign, and then this month, and then date, and then the year, and then again with the close phone sign, then the end function, again the phone sign, and then the month March and first date of the month March in 2009. As we can see that this criteria field and is working successfully. So I'm going to delete this criteria, and this time we are going to try out this how to print yes or no field. So let me write here no, clicking outside and running the query. No means not out of print. Okay, not out of print because the box is not selected. As you can see, the box means yes, no boxes are not selected. So let's go back to the design view, and this time we give a 0 because the box is not selected. As you can see, the box means yes, no boxes are not selected. So let's go back to the design view, and this time we give a 0. Look, Microsoft Access changed it to false. False is also equal to no. Look at this, the same field is being selected again. If the wrong list. Come back to the design view, and when we give 1, I mean yes, true. Now when we run this, look at it, the box is marked. See, these are the boxes which are out of red. Come back to the design view. So this is how these yes no fields work. 1 and 0. 1 is equal to true, 0 is equal to false, and this is how we give criteria in the yes and no field. Now next, please note lookup value can be tricky. When adding criteria to a lookup field, be sure to filter according to the information that is actually stored. So let's see. For lookup field, we are going to close this. Set home. and we are going to open Quickbook projects. Here are the same way some tables already exist, and on the basis of those tables this query is created. When I run this query, you look at this. Here is a book title, employee, and genre. The genre field. When I take this to the design, and we are going to open Quickbook projects. Here are the same way some tables already exist, and on the basis of those tables this query is created. When I run this query, you look at this. Here is a book title, employee, and genre. The genre field. When I take this to the design view, in a genre field, we see fiction, non-fiction, essay, poetry, children's literature, all these book types, genre, and they are going to be design view. Then we write here, for example, fiction, F-I-C-T-I-I-O-M. Like outside, this the automatic quotation mark is inserted. But when I run this query, you see the same data type is made in grammatic expression. Simply this means that what data is saved in this field does not match with this criteria. This criteria is alphabetical, and the field is which is on display is storing the data is numeric data. It is a number data. Look at this genre ID, and here is the TDL project, and this genre ID is taken here to the genre ID is going to be TDL project. If you go here to the genre table, you can see that fiction is actually under one, and database is not saving this, but database is still saving the ID side. So we close this. Suppose if we delete this field and we enter this genre ID, and now when we write here 1, and database is not saving this, but database is still saving the ID side. So we close this. Suppose if we delete this field and we enter this genre ID, and now when we write here 1, and when we run this query to data sheet view, we will find that this 1 is selected. Then we come back to the design view, and I delete this field, and again I insert this genre ID, and right here and run this field, we find this. In the design view, we have to delete this, and we will insert this field here. The genre ID is going to be deleted. Now when I write here F-I-C-I-O-N, fiction, genre, lookup the end fiction. So these are the lookup immediately when you are going to, for example, I don't have a form here now, but in fact these fictions, some of the outsider fields called a lookup field in Microsoft Access, which is a foreign key, which is in fact the field is taken from another table and some data is taken from the other table, and the value stored in the field is numerical, but with the help of this numerical data, this genre field is shown. In fact, the field is taken from another table and some data is taken from the other table, and the value stored in the field is numerical, but with the help of this numerical data, this genre field is shown. So this is how the lookup field are tricky, boys. I hope you understand this, and we'll explain it as we forward in our course. Now let us talk about the combining data. So combining criteria, and for this we will be opening the database with orders, and in this we run this whole query, go to the design view, and we'll take in the last name customer card, and in the transaction we are going to find out if the last name card customer ordered in 2009, or how many times he ordered in 2009, if he orders or if he doesn't order, we are going to find, or if he didn't order, if it is. We will be using a date part function. Date part. The first two things. Why? Date part. Close the first thing. Come on. Sorry. Okay. The field in which we are looking for the data. Transaction data. Okay. The field in which we are looking for the data. Transaction data. Transaction data. So we are going to insert here a comma. Okay. Now when we click outside, and we are going to combine this criteria, the last name and the date part, which is going to look into the 2009 and the transaction date field. Let's run the query. Here we got two orders from her and 2009. This is how we can combine criteria. To combine the criteria, we have to write the criteria in the same line under different fields. So this way we can get a result from two or three fields where we combine criteria. So what this is mean, if the criteria is written in the same line, then the Microsoft Access will understand for example from this criteria that we want a customer last name Kirk and we want this customer in 2009. But if we write the criteria in the OR field, this means in the second line, if we do this in the second line, you will find out that the result will be quite changed. This now means that we want the first name Kirk and we want the rest of the data of 2009, which is the date part. This now means that we want the first name Kirk and we want the rest of the data of 2009, which is the date part of the transaction date. Now when we run this query, look at this, we have a lot more data. We got on the priority list Kirk is here and Kirk in 2009 as well, the two transactions, but the rest of the Kirk is also taken, and because the date part of 2009 is taken. Look at this. Kirk, this 2007 and 2008 is coming because the Kirk is exist here, and the rest of the data is taken because the date part 2009 is displaying the data because it's sorting the criteria. Look at this. Now let's play more with that. So now I'm going to delete this criteria. Let's delete Kirk. Let's delete this date part function, and I'm going to look in the data the first quarter of 3 years. So I'm going to start with 3. 1, 7. And 3, 1, 7. Like I'm going to copy this to the next line because I want to see one more year, the first quarter of 2008. I'm going to copy this to the next line because I want to see one more year, the first quarter of 2008. To change the first digit of the year, 2008, and I want to see 2009 as well. 9. Let's look at this list of the query. As you see here, we have the first quarter of 2007, and then we have the first quarter of 2008 till March 2008. Let's go to page. Maybe there is an introduction in the March, but it's beginning with the 1st Jan 2009, and it's going to the March and the month of March. So that's one way of watching the differentiate with the criteria or function. Look at this R. I'm going to delete this. So the same thing for the last name. So the same thing for the last name. Yes, sir. Like this. And the way. Look at this, we got Smith and we got Anderson. Or we can write this criteria in this way as well. Like this. We give here or, and then we paste the Anderson name. And the query, we get the same data. So we can use this R function inside the beneath the field, or we can go to the second line, third line. A lot of criteria line, and we can use them. So these are this is the power of Microsoft Access. Locating for blank values or null values. A blank value can be null or zero length value. Blank value indicates information might exist but is not currently known, or field is not applicable to the current record. For example, fax number or a middle initial. Not everyone has a fax number. So when we feed the data in the database from the form, when a person don't have a fax number, so we leave the field blank. The same way, some people database from the form, when a person don't have a fax number, so we leave the field blank. The same way, some people have the middle initial in their name, but everyone do not have a middle initial in their name. So that's how null value and zero value exists. So to find out the null values, I'm going to close this database. And null and zero values. And this database we got only one table. And this table is, if I double click it, look at this. This name, person holding the middle initial, and this one also. And this one also, but there is a lot of record. Look at this, 10,000 to be exact. So it is difficult to find out which are the people who don't have the recognition. So to find them, we do this design view. and we can see that there is the definition field. Below this, select this field, go to create, and create insert this table. Below this, select this ID, first name, last name. Run this field, we can take this. Find out which values are the null value. Go to design view and the search table. Hold this. Select this ID, first name, last name. Run this field, we can take this. Find out which values are the null value. Go to design view and write underneath of this field, the field that you want to see the null value in address. You want to see the null value in address. So I want to go to query to find out the null value in address. Select this table and create a query. Create this table. Load this. Select this field, this one, and this one, and this one. Run this, go to this. We have to find out this null value. Go to design view. Right under beneath of the field in which you want to find the null value. In the field in which you want to find the null value. In the and this is the value that you can see. Run the query. These are the null values. This is how we find the null value. Now, how to find the zero left values? Just go back to design view and remove place is null and write this two station without in space and run for the we find out that these three values of the middle initial are zero left. I hope you understand this. Introduction to wildcards. Wildcard is a special character which can represent either a single character or a string of characters. There are several wildcards you can choose from. For example, this wildcard string with any number of characters. You can use these strings anywhere character string. WH, this wildcard finds what, white, and Y or not a while or watch. Because H is not various. So A is not various and here H not found. Look at this, the question mark. When we use this wildcard, make it any single alphabetic character. Look at this. B, we want the B character first and then we want N character after B and then double finds I, L, and B. And look at these brackets, matches any single character within brackets. B, A, E, and double finds ball and will but not will. The same way the sign of exclamation, which is any character not in the bracket. B and sign of exclamation AE and then double L finds will and will but not ball itself. Same way the minus character or the dash character, which is any one of the range character, you must specify the range and the character after B and then double finds I, will, and will. And look at these brackets, matches any single character within brackets. B, A, E, and double finds ball and will but not will. The same way the sign of exclamation, which is any character not in the bracket. B and sign of exclamation AE and then double L finds will and will but not ball itself. Same way the minus character or the dash character, which is any one of the range character, you must specify the range and the or A to Z, not Z to A. D, A to C, D finds bad, B, and B. The hash character, core character, which is any single numeric character, which is 1, 4, 3, 5, 103, 103, 103. So let's go back to our pickle orders table. So practice the wildcard, pickle orders, curable orders, put design, and write a criteria with right and type, then so practice the wildcard, pickle orders, curable orders, put design and write a criteria with right hand type and right hand type and so look at this, we got picker on 2. Then I'm going to go back to the line view. Look at this, picker on quarterly 2 like S, and we got, and when let's explain, we get this picker on 2.1 data. You should know criteria is an expression that Acces compares to a value to determine whether to include the record that contains each value. Operator is a sign or symbol to specify the type of input for computed expression. Wildcard, a special character that can represent either a single character or a string of characters. So here is our lesson concluded. We first presented the introduction to criteria, and then we got an introduction to operators, which is included with mathematical operators, comparison operators, logical operators, other operators. Then we dive in the adding criteria to query. We then use the combining criteria, adding alternate criteria, locating blank values. We use how to locate the null values and the zero length values, and then we got an introduction to wildcard, and we use a little bit the wildcards. In detail, we'll use the wildcards in our future lessons. So with this, I want to thank you guys for watching, and if you like my video, don't forget to like, and if you are new and first time to my channel, please subscribe my channel. Thank you. See you. Bye bye. And if you are new and first time to my channel, please subscribe my channel. Thank you. See you. Bye bye.